The Bears taking on the Spartans. It sounds like an episode of Spartacus, but no, it's the next episode of Quiz Kids.
It's the Bay Area Quiz Kids. And now, the best host on the West Coast, Brad Friedman.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this latest incarnation of Quiz Kids. We have two terrific teams, as always, to take each other on in a display of intellectual skill. Over here, we have the Menlo Atherton Bears. And they are taking on the Mountain View Spartans. So, gentlemen, let's begin with the three-for-all. I'll ask a 5-point toss-up question. I'll give you three answers. The team member who gets the correct answer will gain control for that round. I'll ask a second question worth 10 points. If you get that right, I'll guess a third question worth 25 points. Good luck to both teams. Here's your first toss-up. The answers are clam, crab, and lobster. Yum, yum, yum. Melbourne, Australia-based designer Elliot Gorham has produced an iPhone case in the shape of which sea creature? Kyle.
Lobster.
Correct. Gorham was apparently inspired by a 1938 lobster telephone handset created by which surrealist?
Dolly.
That's correct. One of 4 lobster phones made by Dolly is now part of the collection of which London Contemporary Art Museum?
The Tate.
You got 25 points. Zero coupon, zero basis, zero dividend. What does Wall Street call a bond that doesn't make periodic interest payments? Yes, Kyle.
Zero basis.
No, you can steal, M.A.
Zero dividend?
No, it's zero coupon. We'll move on. Abraham Lincoln, James Buchanan, and Martin Van Buren. Who was the president when South Carolina seceded from the Union? Kyle.
Abraham Lincoln.
No, you can steal.
James Buchanan.
That is right. Built following the War of 1812, what fort in South Carolina was the site of the first shots of the Civil War?
Fort Sumter.
Correct. Which state seceded but then had part of its state returned to the Union in 1861?
Virginia.
I'm sorry, it was West Virginia.
Oh.
Benedict Arnold, George Armstrong Custer, Nathan Hale. Whose famous last words were, "I regret that I had..." Yes, Kyle.
Nathan Hale.
Correct.
Connecticut.
Hale was executed by the British during what war?
The Revolutionary War.
Can I accept? Yeah, good. Nathan Hale is the official state hero of which New England state?
Connecticut.
That's right, for 25 points. Burgundy, Normandy, and Provence. It was the first part of France to come under Roman rule. Which region includes the Côte d'Azur?
Provence.
Kyle?
Provence.
Right. The desire to capture the light as it is in the south of France is said to have contributed to what late 19th century movement in painting?
Impressionism.
Georges Seurat and Paul Signac created what technique that creates images from small distinct dots of pure color?
Pointillism.
For 25 points is correct. The ostrich, the rhea, and the kiwi. What large flightless bird shares its... Kyle?
The Rhea.
That is right. Rheas are native to which continent?
Australia.
Nope. South America. Teddy Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt, and Herbert Hoover. Under which U.S. president did the Star-Spangled Banner become our national anthem? Kyle.
Franklin Roosevelt.
No, you can steal.
Hoover.
Correct. Mary Pickersgill sewed the flag that became known as the Star-Spangled Banner. Over what Baltimore fort did it fly?
McKinley. Fort McKinley?
No, it was Fort McHenry. Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and Creutzfeldt-Jakob. Recently, Philippine neurologist Rustico Jimenez speculated that he's seeing signs of what disease in boxer Manny Pacquiao? Yes, Jack?
Alzheimer's?
No, you can steal, gentlemen.
Parkinson's?
Correct. Parkinson's did not prevent which heavyweight champion of the 60s and 70s from carrying the Olympic torch at the Atlanta opening ceremonies?
Muhammad Ali.
Which actor diagnosed with Parkinson's in 1991 will be playing a newscaster in a new NBC series?
Michael J. Fox.
You got 25 points. Hindenburg, Graf Zeppelin, Akron. In 1929, which dirigible was the first to make Leland?
Hindenburg.
No, was the first to make a flight around the world?
Graf Zeppelin?
Correct. 5 years earlier, in 1924, which U.S. company acquired all the Zeppelin patents? It was Goodyear. And that is the end of the first round. We'll be back to say hi to these teammates after these messages.
And now it's time to meet the Quiz Kids. Once again, here's Brad.
Welcome back. Let's say hello to the Menlo Atherton Bears, to whom we're going to add 15 points because in an earlier question you said Virginia, and that was correct. Spencer Murphy, you are a junior, and you got to go on a trip with your family to Spain and Portugal last year,
Yes.
which you enjoyed very much. What was your favorite part of the trip?
My favorite city we went to was Lisbon in Portugal. It was very nice, very good weather compared to the rest of Spain. But,
So you like the lack of humidity?
yeah.
Well, good. We judge by what we judge. Okay. Jake Solomon, you're a senior. Is this
Yes.
your 4th year with us?
Third.
Third
but
year with
close.
us?
We'll go with 4 if you
I
want.
feel like it's been years.
Yes, sir.
And you and your family went to the Rose Bowl. Do we have some Stanford grads in the family?
Yes, my father's in the crowd. It was a Stanford fan. Was a Stanford grad, and we're all Stanford fans. So we went down there as a family.
It was a good day for you.
It was a very good day for us. It was very happy.
Good. Wonderful. Jack Donahue, you're a junior, and you are part Irish and got to go on your first trip away from the country to Ireland.
Yeah, it was fun. I got to see the Northern Lights out of the window of the plane on the way there.
Oh,
Saw the
how
Book of
exciting.
Kells
Very beautiful.
while I was there. Yeah.
Good. Well, welcome to our show. And we're going to give you a chance to answer some questions. I have 3 categories here. I'm going to name the categories. Choose your category. Each one has 7 questions worth 10 points. If you give me all 7 answers correctly, I'll add a 30-point bonus for a total of 100 points. Today's categories are the Hungry Games, jaywalking, and faking it.
Jaywalking?
Jaywalking. Name these things that begin with the letter J. It's the month that was named in 44 BC.
January?
July. It's the monarchy that borders the Gulf of Aqaba.
No answer.
Jordan. This part of the troposphere that's 7 miles up has winds that are over 60 knots.
No answer.
Jet stream. When it comes to this stone, the greener the better.
Jade.
Correct. Carved from the living rock, the pink stone city of Petra is found in this Middle Eastern kingdom.
Jordan.
That's right, Jordan again. He succeeded a daughter of Henry VIII in 1603.
James. What James? James. It's James.
James the fourth?
Let's go fourth.
Fourth.
First, James the First. Finally, the month of June is named for the Roman goddess Juno, the wife of this other god.
Jove. Jove.
Jove.
No, Jupiter. But you got 2 correct for 55 points. Congratulations. Let's say hi to the Spartans. Matt Chang, a junior, who went to Cancun was it over the Christmas break?
It was a while ago, but I got to see the Mayan pyramids.
In
and-
2012,
Yes.
before the end of the world.
Before the end of the world, yes.
How was it?
Well, I did expect it to be a bit more grand, but overall, it
now
was
that
very
they didn't
satisfying.
end the world, you can criticize the Mayans.
Yes, I can.
Good for you, Matt. Kyle Bardman, you are a senior, and you have received early admission to the University of Chicago, which you were too shy to tell us. So congratulations to that.
Thank you.
And what are you going to major in?
Econ.
Boy, do we need economic specialists, don't we?
Yeah, yes, we do.
Yes, you can help Mr. Bernanke when you get out of school. He'll probably still be around telling us what to do.
Probably.
Leland Lee, you're a junior, and you spent 6 weeks in Hong Kong last summer actually studying at school there.
Yes.
And what courses did you take?
Managing business operations for a competitive advantage and greeting business practices, very long names. And
Would you consider going into business with Kyle and
Maybe we
solving
could-
the world's economic problem?
Maybe we could be partners together.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, good luck to you. And here are 2 more categories to choose from. See if you can get your lead even wider. The categories are The Hungry Games and Faking It.
I'm thinking the Hungry Games. The Hungry Games?
The Hungry Games. Identify these terms from around the world that refer to food. This has to be a good category. Kielbasa, andouille, and chorizo are different types of what kind of food?
Sausage.
Yes. In Spain, you can make a big meal out of lots of these little plates of delicious delicacies.
Tapas.
Right. This French term refers to a table loaded with plates of assorted foods from which diners help themselves.
A la carte.
No, it's a buffet. This is the Scandinavian term for a buffet.
Smorgasbord.
Correct. The Big Apple is the place to find the best of these restaurants serving corned beef sandwiches and blintzes.
Deli.
Delicatessen is right. In Paris, you will find delicious French pastries in these bakeries.
Cafe?
No.
Or boulanger.
Boulangerie.
I had to go with cafe. We were looking for patisserie. I might have accepted boulangerie, but cafe we can't accept.
Yeah.
And this foodie term refers to a cuisine that combines elements from two different cultures.
Fusion.
Correct. You got 5 correct for a total of 155. We'll be right back with more Quiz Kids.
And now we're back with the second half of Quiz Kids. Take it away, Brad.
Let's give a big hand to the coaches for both teams who work so hard to get these guys up here and do well. First, from Menlo Atherton, Miss Sue Caton. And from Mountain View, Mr. George St. Clair. Thank you, coaches. And now let's add another 10 points to Menlo Atherton's score because there are other ways to say the name Jupiter. By Jove, you can say Jove, you can say Jupiter. I just say Dad. All right, we're going to go back to the 3-for-all, but now the point values are improved. 10 points, 25 points, and possibly 50 points. Play is the same. Good luck. Here's your first toss-up. The answers are Napoleon Bonaparte, Attila the Hun, and Julius Caesar. Who's credited with saying, I came, I saw, Jack?
Julius Caesar.
Correct. Caesar really didn't say this in English. If he did, he would have said it in Latin. What's the Latin for I came, I saw, I conquered?
Veni, vidi, vici.
Say it.
Veni, vidi, vici.
That is correct. Veni, vidi, and vici are first-person perfect forms of what 3 Latin verbs?
Venio, Venio, Winko, and Widio.
No, it's venire, vedire, and vincere.
Oh.
And I may have said that a little too Italian. I apologize to all my Latin friends. Embryology, genetics, quantum mechanics. In 1909, William Bateson coined the term, yes, Kyle?
Quantum mechanics.
That is incorrect. Coined the name for what science associated with Austrian monk Gregor Mendel?
Genetics.
Correct. Between 1856 and 1863, Mendel cultivated and tested nearly 30,000 of what kind of plant?
Peas.
Correct. What genetic trait will manifest only when both copies of the gene are present?
Recessive.
You're right for 50 points. 100 Years' War, War of the Roses, and the Norman Conquest. The royal houses of York and Lancaster. Kyle.
War of the Roses.
Following the War of the Roses, which house ruled England for the next 117 years?
Tudor.
That's right. The 117 of the House of Tudor is said to have included what lady's 9-day rule?
Mary.
No, it was Lady Jane Grey.
Oh, yeah.
The Senate, the House, the Supreme Court. In the presidential election of 1800, which body ultimately did... Yes, Kyle.
The House.
Correct. Who ultimately won the election of 1800?
Thomas Jefferson.
And prior to 1804, what happened to the person who received the second highest number of electoral votes?
He was exiled.
No, he became... Close, some would say. He became the vice president.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he was exiled.
Well, to the Senate or something. Okay. Amazon, Nile, and Yangtze. Not until 2010 did any bridges cross which river? Yes, Kyle.
The Amazon.
Right. Hercules slew which Amazon warrior queen?
Amazonia.
Amazonia?
It was Hippolyta. Charles Guiteau, Leon Czolgosz, and John F. Schrank. The U.S. Civil Service Commission was established as a result of an assassination. Kyle.
Charles Guiteau.
Right. Who was the president shot by Guiteau?
Garfield.
No, it was William McKinley.
Oh, yeah.
Henry VIII, Edward VIII, Louis VIII. He was a major character in a recent Oscar-winning film. Which monarch was the last English king? Kyle.
Edward VIII.
Who was the brother who succeeded Edward VIII?
Charles.
No, it was George VI. Vanilla, cassia, stevia. A Latin American plant in the chrysanthemum family is the source of what zero-calorie, zero-carbohydrate sweetener? Leland.
Algave.
No, it was not that. You can steal.
Vanilla.
It was stevia. Neon, argon, and xenon. Besides helium, what other noble gases among the five most common elements in the sun? Yes, Matthew.
Neon.
Correct. Many so-called neon lights are really filled with neon. A true neon light glows in which color?
Purple.
No, red. Beijing, Seoul, Tokyo. You can visit its Olympic Stadium in Yoyogi. Yes.
Beijing.
No. In Yoyogi Park. Which Asian city was the first to host the Summer Olympics?
Seoul.
Say when?
Seoul.
No, it was Tokyo. Herbert Hoover, Richard Nixon, Calvin Coolidge. Which U.S. president studied mining engineering at Stanford? Yes, Kyle.
Herbert Hoover.
Built in the 1930s, what was the original name of Hoover Dam?
The
You can talk to your fellow.
Colorado Dam.
Mead Dam.
No, it was Boulder Dam. And that is the end of the round. 140 for Menlo Atherton, 255 for Mountain Dew. We'll be right back with the final round of play. Welcome back. In the final round, we'll put 3 minutes on the clock. The questions are worth 30 points. Good luck to both teams. Here's your first question. This father of New France founded Quebec in 1608. Kyle.
Champlain.
Yes. Her coalition consists of Free Democrats and the Christian Democratic Union. Kyle.
Merkel.
Right. The Anacostia, Monocacy, and Shenandoah rivers are tributaries of which river? Kyle.
Ohio.
No. Which passes Washington, D.C.?
Potomac.
Correct. It's located between the scapula and the radius and ulna. Which bone that extends from the shoulder to the elbow is sometimes called the funny bone? Jack.
Humerus?
Right. Queen had a bohemian one. Gershwin's was blue. What kind of composition? Yes, Kyle.
Rhapsody.
Right. Days when the sun's declination is 0, meaning the sun appears to cross the equator. Jack.
Solstice?
No. Are denoted by what Latin term meaning equal night?
Equinox.
That's correct. The English one was written in 1689. What set of power limiting? Yes, Jake.
Bill of Rights.
Correct. It was renamed for a recently deceased politician just prior to becoming a state capital in 1867. What city is home to the main campus of the Cornhuskers? Kyle.
Lincoln.
Yes. Many freeways in the Bay Area are named after famous people. Which numbered interstate is named for Admiral Chester Nimitz? Kyle.
237.
No. You can steal. You can talk it over.
37?
No, it's 880. Which woodcutter tells his brother Cassim about a cave where the words open sesame give access to the treasure of 40 thieves? Jack.
Alibaba?
Right. Moroni led him to the golden plates. Who is considered the founder of the Mormon church? Kyle.
Joseph Smith.
Right. He used the biblical story of Cain and Abel as the basis for his East of Eden. Who wrote... Yes, Kyle.
Steinbeck.
Right. Its namesake island became a colony in 1842. The Kowloon Peninsula is part of what one-time British... Yes,
Hong Kong.
Leland. Correct. In its opening scene, a writer burns the manuscript to stay warm. What Puccini opera inspired the musical Rent? Kyle?
La Boheme.
That's right. He was known as the board of all those who live in felt tents. 1206, who was acclaimed grand leader of the Mongols? Kyle?
Genghis Khan.
Correct. He was the first non-royal to be depicted on a British postage stamp. Name this playwright known as the Bard of Avon. Jack?
Shakespeare.
Right. Element 104 is named for him. Who scattered alpha particles during his gold foil experiment? Spencer.
Rutherford.
Correct. It lies downstream from Lake Winnebago. Which Wisconsin city is home to Lambeau Field? Yes.
Green Bay.
Correct. According to USA Today, Stockholm just opened a museum dedicated to which palindromic disco-era pop group? Kyle.
ABBA.
Right. Buck, a Klondike sled dog who joins a pack of wolves. Jack.
Call of the Wild.
Right. It lies between Uzbekistan and Russia. Borat claimed to be from what? Kyle.
Kazakhstan.
Correct. In a Chinese restaurant, you might order a spicy mapo dish of what coagulated soybean extract? That is tofu, and that is the end of the game. 350 for MA, 645 for Mountain View. Congratulations, Mountain View. Well played, MA. We'll see both of you in a future match, and we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.